Hi, so welcome, and today I will be presenting a path towards arts and design. So before I started all the contents, I would like to thank for Alliance for Impact, who has invited me to given me this opportunity to present. It has been a wonderful experience. I would like also to thank our group members who has given me a lot of support and advices when composing these contents. I would also like to thanks Lily for helping me, first of all, for hosting this event as well, hosting this webinar, as well as helping me to giving me some layout outline of what I should talk about during this webinar. So first of all, I would like to introduce what we will be covered during this presentation. So first of all, I will be introduce myself, and then I will talk about why our school should be in consideration when applying for colleges. Third, I will be introducing some of the great art schools in the US, which would include 3 specific examples and a ranking as reference, as well as which will be including some of the universities also with great art programs. And then I will be talk about some of the advice if you are considering going to art schools, some of the advice while in the high school you should do to help you prepare. Next, I will talk about some of the portfolio tips that I've learned in a hard way. But and then 6, I will talk about some of the school life in our schools, which will include some of the art and student basic schedules, as well as how you should balance your work and life. Also, I will talk about career planning and preparation, as well as some of the challenges I faced during my academia. Lastly, I will talk about our, going to the real world, talk about what you will be expecting during art career. Of course, it will depend on your major. So I will just talk about it briefly, and then we will get into our Q&A session. So first, let me introduce myself. I am Eugenie. So I have a background I've earned a degree in Bachelor of Fine Art in Interior Design, which now I'm approaching a master degree of Fine Art in Interior Design. If you are curious about some of my professional experience, it is listed on the slides. But instead of introduce me like an interview, or I would like to started it in a fun or more interactive way, which I think that would show some of my personalities. So I prepared something for you guys. So hi, I'm Eugen. Nice to meet you guys. I'm currently studying in interior design for a graduate degree. And this is my hometown, Suzhou, China. So I came here in the US to study since high school. And I was in Kansas, and then I applied to in art school, and then started my master degree academia. So my professional goals is, once I had my degree, get my degree, which I'm now currently writing my thesis. It has been a rough days, but my professional goals is now is to get into a interior design studio. I'm expecting it has to be a smaller size, so that I'm able to get in touch of each task that relates to interior design, just to get to know all the things we should do as an interior designer. But I also would like to have some time to do my hobbies. So here are some of my previous interior design work. This is actually one of my favorites so far. It is also a competition which called Beanstalk Furniture Competition, specifically on the interior design. We were asked to design a sky box with the theme of music in mind, and I chose a film score music as the concept. So I actually was shortlisted. So, and then during my free time, I also did some of the illustration works, which are kind of freelance jobs. So here a poster that I composed for my friends back in Suzhou, and then some of the characters design. So now you know something about me. Let's jump into the topic of why we should consider art schools. So Lily had a question when we first met. She asked, what made you want to pursue a major in art and go to an art school? So I guess for me, I just know that I want to study interior design since middle school. And then when I researched online, that I found that most art school would have a higher rankings on interior design major. So I used to study in a high school that is known for getting offers from great colleges. Some of my classmates, they got offers from Ivy League schools, and then they all had a great family backgrounds. So most of them, they wanted to approach either pre-med, biology, or business degree. And I was actually one of the first students to actually get into an art school, because our school didn't mention anything about our school, or there is a possibility of going art school. And I really want to thank my art teachers, who she has really helped me along the process. So during the application process, I wasn't really thinking much. I just know that this is what I want to do in the future. Then why not learn it so that I can be more professional in this field to prepare for my future. So you might think, what do we study in our forms now, such as painting and sculptures? There are actually many other different disciplinary that are worth looking into. So I will just giving you some of the big categories and some of the majors in our colleges. I believe there are many of you are in a scenario that you're not 100% sure that art college is the right thing for you. So by giving you some of the majors and what we study, I hope that there's something that will interest you. So I categorize it into around 5 categories. The first one is this graphics, animation, and gaming. These all are based from drawing skills and as well as artistic interactions. So it links sequential arts, illustrations, motion media, graphic design, animation, and game design. The second category, which is film and video production, which will include film and television, sound design, visual effects, photography, dramatic writing, immersive reality, production design, and performing arts. The third category, which is fashion. So it branches off from, besides fashion, into fashion marketing and management, fibers, business and beauty and fragrance, accessory design, which is about designing shoes, designing bags, and a lot of things, and luxury and brand management, and also jewelry design. And then there is product design and user experience, which it's a lot of the products that we use daily, such as furniture design, advertising, social strategy, and management. This is something that is about working with social media, service design, industrial design, design management, and user experience design. This is the one that we are designing the apps and how it is easier for us to use. And lastly, but which is the field that I'm into now, is architecture, is building and arts, which includes architecture, interior design, themed entertainment design. This is about amusement park design, architectural history, preservation design, and design for sustainability. Noticing a lot of the majors are interconnected, such as architecture and interior design, filmmaking, sound design, or even sound design with game design. They are interconnected, which forms a really big community when you're studying in an art school. So here are some of the, so this is some of the majors and concentrations you will normally or commonly see in the art programs or some of the art design school. And I think when attending an art school, you will be able to take classes and concentration on a specific field of art that most interests you. Art schools are an excellent choice for those who first of all, they want to focus solely on their artistic career. They also want to focus their time on mastering artistic techniques and skills. It is also a great way for networking with professional instructors and other students in the artistic field. And I think one of also the advantage is that because there are so many art related subjects, it is not hard for you to actually learn interior design while also taking furniture design classes at the same time. So that's an advantage. So now I get you all excited about, wow, our schools, you can study so many things. So I will talk about some of the great art schools in the US. Now this topic is rather, I guess, subjective, because when I look up some of the rankings on our universities, different sources have different sayings and they have different rating standards. So I will just list some of the 3 examples that I most saw. Not most saw, but some of the 3 examples that I've seen that have great comments, and hopefully give you an example on when you looking at our schools, what you should be looking into individually. So first of all, I would like to introduce my school because I'm the one that know them well. So Savannah College of Art and Design, it locates in Savannah, Georgia, and the annual tuition is around $37,500. So some of the programs that they are best known for includes animation, fashion, film and TV, game design, graphic design, and interior design. Now, some of the advantages they have is that they offers more programs and specialization, and is constantly their program is also constantly evolving. So some of our degree actually are required to take different classes as the time evolved. It is considered moderately priced compared to some of the other design schools, and it hosts a wide range of signature events such as SCAD Fashion Show and SCAD Film Fest. So SCAD actually has the largest film fest in the US, which kind of attracts a lot of the professional in that field. We also are able to see some of the celebrities during that time of the year. And the background photo is actually one of the film fest. And I think another advantage in SCAD is that there are various campus, including Atlanta campus, Savannah campus, and Lacoste campus. So Lacoste is actually a little town located in France. So it is a great opportunity for someone who want to study abroad, but still able to get credits. So the second school is Rhode Island School of Design, RISD. It locates in Providence, Rhode Island, and the annual tuition is $50,200, around that. And then some of the programs of note includes painting, sculpture, architecture, illustration, visual performing arts, fiber, ceramic, printmaking, jewelry. Noticing that compared to SCAD, RISD is more well known for their more classical side of arts, while compared to SCAD, SCAD might have a greater advantage in digital art field. And some of their advantage is that they also offers a lot of programs, and even though they're considered a little bit on the pricey side, RISD is in partner with Brown University, which it offers a dual degree program referred as BRDD. So when you are a RISD student, you actually are able to take classes from the Brown University and able to get a double degree. One is art and the other is science and art. Bachelor degree. And the other advantage is that their RISD museum, they have a huge collection of arts in the museum, which was around, I forgot how much, but if I didn't remember it wrong, it was around 11,000, I believe. And then also RISD prioritized career readiness, which gives students the opportunity to make connections. Is there some? And I also didn't want you to feel drawn back to just look at art university. There are also general universities that provide great art programs, such as this one. So for students that are not sure pure art school is the right choice, I just want to remind you that there are also universities out there that contains great art programs. So Yale, which probably all of you know, that it is located in New Haven, Connecticut, and the annual tuition is around 36,000. Programs of note including painting and printmaking, photography, sculpture, architecture. And some of the advantage, well, it's Yale, so it's an Ivy League school. You have this pride of being Ivy League students, and also they also have great educations, not just around art. So you have the opportunity of explore other. You're able to take other great courses besides art. So I feel like it is a really suitable choice for students that they aren't dedicated to the art field, but they still think that our program may be something that they need to think about. This is something that they could consider later. So here is just a general ranking of our schools. And then some differences between an art school and a traditional four-year college is that you will focus primarily on an artistic discipline and receive a focused education in the art, while a traditional college will provide a much broader education with courses in the arts being a smaller part of the experience. So there are some pros and cons between the two. So this is just showing a ranking from one resource, which is reference from the Art Career Project. I just took the top 12 from their ranking system, and then some of the highlight schools in pink are the universities with a great art department. UCLA has a great art and architecture program, and then NYU Tisch School, which is about focusing, which is generally a department of the NYU that is focusing on the performing and cinematic and media art. And then also Carnegie Mellon. I have a friend that she go there, and then she was in architecture program, and she also mentioned that they also have great fashion shows, fashion week. So probably fashion is good as well, but now she's in game design. So if you want to go to an art school, I recommend you think ahead and then prepare it, and then at least have some experience now in the high school. So I will just giving you some advice of things to do list during high school, which I did all of them when I was in high school, when that kind of prepared me think that I should go to an art school. But when I realized that I want to go to an art school, it was already my senior year. So I really think that if you have an idea, you should go for it earlier so that you have more time to prepare your portfolio, which I will be discussed later. So some of the things to do, I will just read one by one. First, utilize your art and creative class sessions. I will just give you some examples every time I read one. So when I was in high school, we have great art classes, which they were elective class. So I really just took all of them, all of the art classes, because I love the teacher, and also I know that I like art. So that actually really prepared me later for portfolio, because I had more options when choosing my works. And then second, go to museums or any resources that inspire your creation. So you can go to website, you can go find your favorite artists, you can go to museums. These things all accumulate to help you to build up your aesthetics towards art. And people will sometimes add a little bit of this and that to their work, and that's really helping me so far. And meet professionals or people that shares the same interests and make meaningful conversations. So whenever I flew back to China, it was a long time ago though. So my mom have all this connection that she has great art teachers, and then director of the art, like Chinese art department, something like that. And then she would really encourage me to meet them so that I can share their work, my current work, and to see what their visions on that, as well as just making conversations, useful conversations. And that really inspired me and know that where I should go, because they have a higher vision. And then fourth is participate in competitions. So that would really build your resume. I had competitions and I entered competitions in Scholastic art awards, and I believe I was either golden or silver. I couldn't remember now, But yeah, that really kind of made my resume looks better. Have to say that. And then 5 is practice. Practice makes your work better. As I said, that time really is something that you need to have when preparing your work, and then you need to practice. My drawing skill isn't just Nate as talented or as genius as like as I was like compared to now. Everything needs practice and then improvement, and find your own style and find the things that you actually really into. And then my last is spend time on your passion and work on your portfolio ahead of time. And this is seriously really important. I know every time I said a tip, I said that, but this is something that I really hope that I can spend more time on, because I finally decided to go to art school during my senior year. So my time was rusher, and I think I could have a better portfolio if I think ahead of time and then spend more time on this. So I actually learned it from the hard way. So now let's get into portfolio. You know, Lily asked me a really cute question. She asked, "How did you get into an art school?" And I said, I was like thinking, and then I was like, of course, portfolio is really important. And because a portfolio submission is usually required for art school admissions considerations. And then in a portfolio, it usually has to include 12 to 20 examples of your best work, and some of the colleges may vary. So that's something to take note of. And also time. I've emphasized it a lot of times now. So here are some of the advices I concluded when putting up a portfolio, and what to focus on, or what you should showcase when presenting or putting up a portfolio. And one is technical skills. Second is show things that you are most passionate about. And third is show your professionalism. So before I talk about it, each one more specifically, I would highly recommend you go watch the videos, which is also from AFI, the Jason Paul video, How to Create an Outstanding Art Portfolio, because I was looking at it just a day ago, and he really provided a lot of useful and professional advices. And I really wish that when I was doing a portfolio, I wish I would watch that video ahead of a time. And then also another thing is that I'm just giving an example of drawing as a portfolio media, but the media is also dependent on you. It depends on your interest and your focus. For example, my partner, he really likes photography, so all his portfolio are focused on how he explore using cameras and long time exposure in there, everything like that. So now let's jump into the details of my advice. One is technical skills. So I will just use drawing as an example. So 30 to 40% of your work should at least showcase your technical skills. So I put some of the graphics or sketches on lighting, and then objects and sculptures. Here are just some classical art studies, which when it comes to photography, it might be some other things that could showcase your technical skills. Second, you have to show the things that you are most passionate about. Show your voice and the things that you are most into. Also, which that could show your personality, your style, and your potential. That's the things that give your portfolio the character, I would say. So at that time, even though I know that I want to do interior design, but I was so into animation and then character design, my portfolio actually had a series, probably 10 to 12 drawings that are on character design and then ink and then comics and animation characters analysis, also anatomy, kind of how how humans should be drawn, like in scales. Is that how I say it? Okay, you probably know, probably kind of give you just a basic understanding. And third is professionalism. So it just comes to how you present your portfolio. You have to show, usually there will be notes when you post each portfolio. You will have, and they will have a space for description. So that is where that kind of type out what your thoughts behind each of your art piece and why you're doing so. And yeah, and then it would be great to ask your art teacher for advice. I wouldn't be, afraid of hire professionals to guide you if you have some budget. And also, again, highly recommend Jason Paul's video. It was such a good video if you want to build up a portfolio. And now, humbly, I want to show some of my previous portfolio example. I wouldn't say this is the best portfolio ever, but I guess I would just want to give you some examples on the tips that I talked about. And yeah, so I'm just showing 4 pieces, and some of the portfolio, I couldn't find it now. So sorry, guys. So for technical skills, I showed 2 of my portrait, and this is one of them. And this is use pencil and graphite, so black and white, which kind of emphasize on lighting and the texture of hair, skin, and your clothes, and then how the light hit a geometry, how this works visually. And second, this is a really fun kind of campaign. It's like so we receive pictures from Africa kids, and we are able to create art piece based on their pictures. And I just did a portrait, and then I did a little bit of watercoloring with what I see when I saw the picture, like what colors I see in him. So I kind of did something like that. So it's kind of like creation, but also a technical skill kind of based piece. Now, this one, it's not even like good when I see it now, but I really put a lot of work when I used to, because I didn't get any basic art trainings, and so these were all just I practice and I drew it out. So compared to a lot of students' portfolio, I know mine is not the best, but so I was just exploring different medias in this piece. I believe it includes like color pencil. I also have like coffee stain and then ink. Yeah, a lot of bunches of media in this artwork. And then And the fourth one, so I was really into character and then, funky, a little bit comic-y stuff. And then also I really want to be a like comic artist used to be. So I actually bought a lot of ink material when I was in Japan. So I was like, yes, I need to use it. So this was actually inspired by my friend. She was she just started to be vegan, and I was a chef. Like I was her chef. We lived together. So kind of I was also experienced this. So I kind of create this. Okay. Okay. Finally it's over. Now we get into studying art school. So assume that you work hard with your portfolio and you finally get into art school. What will be our lifestyle in art school? So I guess I will just briefly talk about it. This is the fun part, I guess. But also it's a little bit it will be harder than you think, I would say. So first I will talk about our school schedule, our student schedule, and then I'll talk about give some advice on balancing work and life when you are in the academia. And then third is about career planning and something to think ahead of time before you graduate. So we compose this 1 plus 3 years usually is how the art school will be. So the first year is focusing on foundation classes, which is about general drawing class, design class, and art history classes. So everyone, when you enter the art school, even though you applied for different majors, the first year all of us are just undecided majors. So this is the year for you to reconsider what major you want to be. And because we have more time just by doing foundation classes, it would be a good time for you to think about, do you really want to do this major or that? And then the next 3 years is where you finally decide what major you want to be. And then we are focusing on our professional, or we are trying to build our expertise, and then being more major and then professional focused. So this is the year that I did a lot of interior design studios and then learned a lot of digital interior design related programs. So for student schedule, I would say the most different thing is how different school would have quarter or semester terms, such as in SCAD, we have quarterly planned schedules, while Parsons, they have a semester-based schedule. So I will just briefly explain. For quarter in SCAD, we have a 10 weeks, and then composed of 3 quarters each year. And then we will, we kind of separate them into fall, winter, spring quarters, and then summer quarters is optional. And then compared to Parsons, they have 2-year semesters. And then it really depends on the school. Usually lasts from 15 to 17 weeks, and each year have 2 semesters, which is how most universities and schools will be. So I guess one of the advantage for quarter is that because for full-time students, we have to take 3 classes per quarter. So actually we take a lot of class, and then we learn a lot of stuff during the year. compared to semester, actually we have more time for each class to digest the information, and you're able to probably because for me, I feel like what I think is intense in SCAD is that because it's a 10-week, so once you know what you're doing, we're kind of over. While for semester, you kind of have a more progressive kind of and then you get more time to improve in each class. But quarter, what is also an advantage of quarter is that after fall, we have Thanksgiving and Christmas as a full break. So you have a lot of time, a lot of holiday break. And then, yeah, so that's the advantage. You feel like you're done and then you have a great holiday right afterwards. But then you have this spring and winter quarter together that only have a week of holiday and a week of break. And then kind of that's where I feel the winter quarter is probably the time that I feel like I'm most stressed and I feel like I'm not performing the best. So that's kind of pros and cons, I guess. So for class sessions, each class sessions in SCAD is around 2.5 hours. And then I know one of my friends in NYU, she has a 2-hour class session, I believe. And then I highly recommend every time you register class, you should go to an advisor to ask what class you should be taking, because sometimes not every term provides the class that you need to take. And then some of the tips for enjoying your college life. So first year, I would say this is the year that I spend the most joy, less stress, the least stress. So this is the year that you get to know more people, and then because everyone are equal, I would say. So we get to know a lot of different majors from different departments, even though we may separate like along the way. But this is a time that we really get to communicate a lot on our different opinions, and then because you probably are living in a dorm, this is the most craziest year, I would say. And then also this is a time that for you to explore different majors, you can go to different events and then see if this is really the major you want to go for. And the second tip is time management. First, I would say choices. So every time you start a project of what you want to do and the choices of if you want to spend time on work or play, this is your choice. And then that choice that leads to a result. So that's something that I kind of realized later, because every time before I was like, I can do both, but actually you don't have the time and energy to deal with all these things. So you have to kind of pick and choose what you really want to do. Like each day or in each week, you have to choose what you want to focus on. Plan your time when doing art and design, because sometimes when you look at an art piece, right now you think, oh, it looks perfect. But when you look at it the second time after you take a break, you will think, oh, I still need a lot of work on this. So actually it would be great to plan ahead and do your art instead of just rush and be a procrastinator. That's a good outcome needs time, like I said before. And also be prepared for some all-nighters, especially when you get into those 3 years. I feel like I really kind of pulled a lot of all-nighters because it was a lot of work for me. For all of my classmates too, not just for me. So just be prepared. And also third is that something that's about your confidence on your art is that don't compare yourself with others too much. I used to do that because I was so competitive, but I didn't realize that everyone starts different and everyone has different talents. It would be better to compare to your previous self and see what you improved. So that kind of builds your confidence. And then for really important, save all your works. Like I said, that I lost some of my previous works. Like I wasn't able to show all of you guys all my portfolio work, which it kind of is, I guess I kind of regret a little bit because it would be nice to see like what you have progressed during all the time you spend. And also it would be great to categorize, to kind of organize them. So I recommend organize all your works according to classes and time, because it could be a great help when you build a professional portfolio and looking for jobs later on. And 5 is participate in external opportunities. It could be join competitions. So after you finish a project, if you look at, oh, there are some competitions going on, just submit your work there. It doesn't hurt, right? And then also do co-working projects. So in SCAD, I actually had some, they actually provide some opportunities that you are able to kind of do real projects with sponsors like that are in different fields, like Chase Bank, some interior design like Dow tile. It's a material kind of tile on tile. So they have all these kind of real companies that they ask for commission and ask for different projects. And when it comes to that, it usually is a multidisciplinary team that we are working together. And that's something that you won't experience just by taking classes, because you're able to communicate and then know how to teamwork with different majors. And that's really fun. That was really fun. So some of the challenges that I had during my academia, one is I will hit a learning plateau, which is kind of really normal for every one of us. It's just you feel like you're not progressing for a long time. I feel like some of the tips I have is just find your weakness and learn from others. I feel like when you communicate with others and see how others work, it kind of helps you or influences you, because you know what you need to do better, and then also keep on working. Just it needs time. And then communication and social with professionals. I was really shy, and then I don't like to talk much, and I'm not like, I cannot talk to strangers at all, even now. I guess when you communicate with professionals, also you feel like you have a bit barrier there. That was me, but actually they were all really friendly, and they know that you are the future. They really like to, if you're open, they really are willing to talk to you, but you have to reach out because they're busy people. So some of the things is like, you can create a LinkedIn account. You can first connect with your professors, and then professors will have more contacts, or they have more networks that maybe you are able to connect to. And then I feel like it would be also good to have a website that you are always ready, that can represent you, because when you meet someone that you don't even know when you will meet someone. So when you chat, it was like, oh, you're in interior design as well. And then like, yeah, so show me your work, and then you can just give them your website if they are interested, or that would be some opportunities. I feel like this is really something that you experience and you practice along the way, such as I have teamworks with with my other with my group, and then we have to present to our to the company, towards the one that they ask for the commission. So that's something that I learned a lot on professional appeal. So also going to campaigns and events that's related to your major is also helpful. And then our career. I guess I would just talk about it really briefly, because every art career really depends on what you are doing, and then different major are really different. And I guess to give you a generalized idea, I would just talk about how mine works. I guess that would be a good idea to talk about. So when we think about it realistically, when approaching a career, passion is not enough, because like my mom said, when you have a dream career, it has to provide you enough economic support, but also this is something that you like to do. And when it comes to salary in interior design, the lowest 10%, which is the starter, like interns or you just entered to become one, is like 32,000, 32K. And then the average for interior designer, it comes to around 56K per year. But the top 10% of interior designer probably would be, I would say, luxury residential, probably earn a lot, that will net over 96K per year. So it really kind of depends on the level you are. And then to me, besides passion and money, it's also about community. So in an interior design career, you will know people that's from architecture, from selling furnitures and materials, and also your customers. Every field is different, and I feel like as long as you are enjoying what you're doing, you get enough money, and also you like the people that you are you are being with. This is something that's great to me. So yeah, that's all of my content. Thank you.